Okay, it's Toby from Heavyweight MMA, today with Pharjack Jenkins, man. How are you, brother?
Yeah, very good, Toby. Sorry I'm late.
Nah, no problem, bro. You know, fighters aren't always the most reliable when it comes to interviews, especially with me.
Yeah. Well, you see, no, I try and I'm not doing pretty much any interviews for this camp. I just have a thing that I always try and make sure I make time for the guys who wanted to interview me, you know, back on the local scene before I was in the UFC or anything. And you're one of the OGs, so I'm happy to make time, but I'm a little late, sorry.
Thanks, bro. No, it's good, man. Yeah, it's good that you give time to all the local channels, man. It makes a bit of good listening as well, bro. You're a personable character. I was watching your Who the Fook podcast from a few months ago. It was a good one, man. It was a good one.
Yeah, that was a fun one. It was good.
They're nice guys, eh? So let's first talk about UFC 305. You're fighting Herbert Burns, bro. You were scheduled to fight a different fella, Gavin Tucker, but it's changed. What do you think of this fella?
Oh, look, that's the UFC, you know. It's a moving machine, and things happen and injuries happen. I'm sure Gavin wanted to get out here. I was really excited for the Gavin Tucker fight because I thought the way my style played into his, it was going to bring the best out in me. Like, I've had a couple of fights where the guys are a little bit scrappier, and you kind of can only deal with what's right in front of you instead of setting traps and being a little bit more calculated. Whereas Gavin, the way he fights, quite technical, quite well drilled. I was super excited to kind of like layer that fight and make real reads and go deeper into that fight. Whereas now I've got a guy who's, I don't think I've watched a fight where he hasn't shot for a takedown in the first 20 seconds or so. So we sort of adapted our training immediately to make sure that we're getting enough reps in on the things that he does really well. But again, I'm just trying to stick to what I do well, which is really let my hands go. And we're against an orthodox guy now instead of a southpaw, so that brings my leg kick back into play in a big way. And again, I'm just really excited. He's a big name, you know, for the fact that he's Gilbert's little brother, not necessarily for anything else, but it's Gilbert's brother, came through Contender Series. He's had, 5 or 6 fights in the UFC. I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, man. At least it's not like, sometimes you have a change and it's like going completely stand up to ground fighting. At least this one, like Tucker is a good BJJ guy, so you would have at least been grappling a bit for that, right?
Yeah, and with me, right, like I'm always going to try and defend the takedown and make it a striking fight. So that doesn't really change. It's just more on how are they going to try and get you to the ground that changes. So it's just small pivots for us, and I'm good. I got really good coaches who straight away they went, all right, this is what we do here, this is what we do here, keep doing this, stop doing that. We just changed it up as we needed to.
Yeah, man. And you mentioned that Perth was a great fight last time. You loved the whole experience last time you were in Perth compared to Sydney. And going back there must feel good, right?
Oh, I'm so pumped. I'm heading over a little early just because I want to soak it up. Perth's unbelievable. The RAC arena is good. The team that's over there is good. The hotel we stay at is good. The Perth people and the vibe there is unbelievable. And it's the same as last time where they have the Eternal on the Friday night. And I just think the way that ties in with so many of us in the UFC having come from Eternal and then seeing that next wave of guys coming through that, are the next chance to get signed. It makes the whole weekend like really Australian MMA centric. And you can go right from an amateur having his first fight on Eternal all the way through to a Aussie guy fighting for a world title, all within 24 hours of each other. I just find that such a cool experience.
Bro, I'm stoked, man. I've booked my ticket over, bro. I'm going to UFC, and I booked the Eternal tickets as well, bro. It's going to be a good little weekend.
So good. I've been doing a lot of sparring. I've been sparring with Harry Webb a lot, and he's fighting for the title that night. We're actually from the same area. He's from Balan, but I'm from Bacchus Marsh. They're in the same shire, and he's so good. I really think he's one of those next guys, but I'm really excited to get out there with him for the week.
Bro, it's sick, and all these guys starting to come up now. A big run of Aussies and Kiwis for the Contender. Everything's looking good on the scene.
It was like the damn wall kind of broke, didn't it? It was just like, boom, 7 guys in.
Yeah, it's awesome, bro. Hey, you know, with your injury, bro, you went from a time where you're breaking legs of your opponents left, right, and centre. It was only a matter of time till Karma stepped in and gave you something back. You popped your elbow. Was elbow or shoulder? Was your
elbow? Yeah.
Elbow. Yeah, dislocated elbow, pretty much, right? How's the recovery been? How's it feeling?
Yeah, it's been great. Like you said, you know, how many times have I been on the other side of it, where I've broken someone's leg or you know, and won a fight and been happy about it. So when I'm on the other end of it, I'm not going to bitch and complain about it. That's the sport we do, and that's what we put ourselves up for. So it happened, and I was just, as soon as it happened, I immediately just went, all right, what can I do about it? Nothing. How can I get myself back as quick as I can and in the best shape that I can? So I listened to my surgeons, listened to my physios, and I came back and I'm in really good shape now. I have my elbow. I think the elbow that dislocated, because of the extra work I've done on it, it's probably stronger than my other arm now. So I'm in a good spot.
Yeah, nice. That's good, man. Man, it begs the question, you know, it's up and down. Fighting's a difficult sport, obviously. Tough game. These sort of things can happen, man. You're 3 fights into the UFC. Like, how do you feel so far about your UFC journey? Like, what's the internal sort of feelings about it?
I would have felt better if I was 3-0 as opposed to 2-1. But man, I'm living my dream every day that I wanted to do since I was about, 14 years old. So you won't hear me complain at all. I get to get up and spend every day doing what I love. And there's, whether you're coming off a loss or coming off a win, you got to sort of step back and smell the roses and realize that this is it. And you only get one shot at it. So I'm just keeping my head down and trying to keep doing what I'm doing.
Is it what you imagined it would be when you first kicked into martial arts? Like you said from the start, you wanted to be a UFC fighter. You dreamt of being a UFC champion. Is it so far what you'd expect it to be, or different in reality than perception?
I suppose your perception of things change as you go, right? Like my perception before I'd ever had a fight was probably different to after I'd had a few pro fights, and then after going and winning, the Eternal belt and that sort of thing, it was probably different then. But is it what I thought it was going to be when I was a kid? Definitely not, but it's probably not too far from what I thought it was going to be, right before I got in.
And what would you say would be the lows and the highs so far?
Definite low light, fucking snapping your elbow in front of 15,000 people in Sydney. And people come up to me and they're like, oh man, that really sucked the life out of that arena, because everyone was cheering. Everyone was so gutted for you. And I think they're being nice when they say that, kind of meaning that everyone was riding on my success. But that, that hits you, because you're like, fuck, you do have the crowd riding on you. You do have the Aussies all cheering you. While it works for you in some respect, and it's great when it works out, when it doesn't, it hurts.
Yeah, but I was there too, and I heard you talking to who the fuck pod, and yeah, I was thinking, yeah, it did suck the life out of it. No pressure for you in the future, but yeah, it did suck the life out, and the large part of it is the fucking parlays, bro, and the bets, like myself included.
Mate, like, the amount of messages I get about people, you fucked my multi, how dare? And I'm like, bro, I'm sitting in hospital. I don't need this.
Yeah,
but I do feel their pain. I'm a punter myself, so I feel their pain.
Yeah, and the pressure, bro. Like at that level, you're getting smashed with pressure. No one can understand the pressure you're under unless they're there, because even you're an amateur fighter or coming up the ranks of the pros, you understand what it's like to be in that big show, right? It's a whole different thing. Do you how do you handle the pressure and the struggles, bro? Is it something you just internalize and handle, or do you have a support network that you deal with the shit with, or how do you do it?
Well, on fight day, I'm pretty good, to be honest. Like, I've got my coaches know exactly what I need. Like, I don't need to be mentally jacked up. Like, I'm quite stimulated already, and I also probably don't need to be calmed down. I'm really analytical in that. Like, I don't want you to tell me, you're good, man, keep your head down. Like, I don't need encouragement or anything like that. I just want real clear instructions. So, like, the same thing Simon, my head coach, he always gives me like 2 things for like the 5 minutes before we go out. Yep. 2 things, and it'll be like stay low, get behind your jab. And it's like, and as soon as, it's almost like a mantra that he repeats those things that I've got to do, and it just locks me in, because your head can go in other places. Your head starts going wherever, and then it's just lock you back in, like stay low, get behind your jab. Or it'll be, he's going to shoot early, wait for the shot, draw the shot, then go, draw the shot, then go, whatever it might be. We haven't figured out what this one's going to be, but he's got these two things that he's obviously been talking to me about for the lead up to the fight, and then it's like a switch, it locks you in.
Yeah. No, it's that keeping it simple, right? Like everyone's different, every coach is different. It's the coach understanding that that's what works for you, right? And I'm kind of been the same when I've been in corners for guys, like just keep it simple, 1 or 2 instructions. You go beyond that, people can't read it. In the middle of that sort of adversity, in the middle of a fight, it's impossible, right? To do more than a couple of things and focus on more than a couple of things.
Yeah. And some people do need, like, some people are like understimulated and they need to be G'd up, like, let's go. And some people are overstimulated and they probably need to be calmed down a bit. Whereas I'm pretty good at getting in the sweet spot. I just need to be reminded of analytical things, like technical things. Do this, and that kind of puts me in the right spot.
Yeah, nice, man. So any final predictions for Burns, bro? Any ideas, or you don't call predictions?
I'm going to make him quit in the second. Quit. If he's not out of there in the second, it'll definitely be the third.
Nice. Good one, man. Can't wait to get over that. Wait to see you and see some of the lads fighting, man. One last question, just to put you under the pump and make you choose. Kai Kara France, Stephen Erceg, man. What do you think?
Stephen Erceg. Stephen Erceg's been my favourite fighter since we won our belts the same night together on Eternal. So every time he does a shirt, I buy it. Stephen Erceg shirt, I'll go buy it. So I'm Stephen Erceg for sure.
That's sick, man. Both of you guys, I must thank you both, man. You both, I met both of you guys online through chats for 3 years now, bro. We're coming up on 3 years, so good to follow both of you and good to follow both of your success. And you're both good men giving me time, so thank you very much.
Nah, thanks, Toby. Appreciate it.
Cool. All right, man. Best of luck, and hopefully I'll see you over there.